There are nights when a portal opens and only your soul hears the call. Taurus, have you felt a strange vibration in your chest, as if an invisible código were awakening inside you? Have you noticed signs, coincidences, that feel more like revelation than randomness? Prophets like Baba Vanga spoke of a lave that unlocks destino when the frecuencia of a tired alma finally accepts its own activation. Tonight, that synchronia reaches you, and one single message, one single call could close 13 years of pain and redirect your vision forever. Taurus, what if the most important moment of your next 20 years does not arrive with fireworks, but with a simple ringtone? What if the call that changes everything doesn't sound spectacular from the outside, yet inside you, an entire timeline collapses and another one is born? And what if the invisible voice that has been whispering to you at night is already rehearsing the words that will finally end 13 years of spiritual exhaustion? You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle tension in the air. Before you sleep, that sensation that something or someone has been trying to reach you beyond ordinary channels. You shrug it off, call it stress, call it routine, call it life. But deep down, you know it. There is a current moving underneath the surface of your days, and it has your name written on it. For 13 years, you've been walking through a corridor that never seemed to end. 13 years of repeating lessons with different faces. 13 years of almost getting there, almost being chosen, almost being loved the way you deserved, almost receiving what your effort clearly earned. 13 years of doors that opened with a promise and closed with a price. How many times did you tell yourself, next time will be different, only to meet the same pattern wearing a new mask? How many times did you swallow your truth just to keep a fragile piece alive? How many nights did you stare at the ceiling, wondering if the universe had forgotten your address? It didn't. It was taking notes. Every tear you didn't show, every goodbye you pretended was easy, every responsibility you carried alone because someone had to do it. Every moment you chose loyalty over your own heart. These 13 years weren't punishment. They were coding. They were imprinting a frequency into your soul so precise, so unique, that when the right message finally arrives, your entire being will recognize it instantly. This is why the invisible voice has been getting louder, in the way a memory visits you out of nowhere, in the way a name echoes in your mind when you're doing something simple, in the way your own inner dialogue has changed. Less I can't, and more I can't stay like this. Taurus, the universe has been dialing your spirit over and over again. At first, it whispered through discomfort. Then it spoke through loss. Then it shouted through endings you didn't choose but had to accept. Now it is preparing to speak through something you can't ignore, a call in the physical world that matches a call in the spiritual one. You may ask, how can a single call end 13 years of karma? Because it is not about the device that rings. It's about who you are when you answer. For too long, you answered life from a place of debt. I owe them. I promised. They need me. If I leave, everything falls apart. You said yes to what drained you and later to what nourished you. But these 13 years have quietly altered your inner wiring. The same experiences that once made you feel small now make you feel done. You're done negotiating your worth, done justifying your needs, done explaining why your heart is tired. That invisible voice you hear is not a stranger. It is your higher self, finally louder than your fear. It speaks when you look at a familiar situation and, instead of clinging, you feel an urge to release. It speaks when you remember your younger self and realize how many times you abandoned your own dreams to carry someone else's. It speaks when you look at the mirror and feel a strange mix of grief and pride, mourning who you were, honoring who you survived to become. So when that call comes, because it will, it won't just be from a person. It can be a job offer, an apology, a confession, an invitation, a we need to talk. And I've been thinking about you. This opportunity has your name on it. On the surface, it might look ordinary. Under the surface, it is a verdict. Will you live another 13-year cycle of the same pattern, or will you answer as the Taurus who finally chooses victory over repetition? The universe is aligning this moment with precision. You'll notice strange little signs before it happens. A song that speaks exactly what you feel, a phrase on a billboard that hits you like a prophecy, a dream that feels more real than your memories, a sudden wave of clarity that makes you think, I can't go back to who I was. Why is this happening now? Because your soul has crossed a threshold you can't uncross. You are no longer compatible with the version of life that runs on guilt, scarcity, and self-abandonment. So destiny has one last question for you. When the call arrives, will you answer with your old wounds or with your new wisdom? The invisible voice that closes 13 years of pain is actually asking for one thing, that you stop treating your healing as something negotiable. You are not required to prove your loyalty by suffering. You are not required to carry everyone's chaos just because you know how to be strong. You are not required to explain why you're choosing peace over drama. You are only required to be honest with yourself, and honesty, Taurus, is the real break in the karmic pattern. So imagine the moment. Your phone lights up, a notification appears, a message arrives, a door cracks open. You feel your chest tighten, your mind race with what-ifs. Your body remember every time a similar moment led to disappointment. And yet, beneath all that, something quiet says, this time, I'm not the same. That sentence is the sword that cuts the last thread of the old karma. That sentence is the beginning of 20 years of victory built not on luck, but on alignment. Victory for you will not look like domination. It will look like relief, like walking into spaces where you don't have to shrink, like waking up next to people who don't punish your truth, like saying no without shaking, like saying yes to yourself without guilt. Taurus, you are not waiting for the call. The call is waiting for you to remember who you are when you answer. And now, to seal this first movement of your prophecy, we need to plant a decree in the field of your reality. If these words touch something ancient inside you, I invite you to write this decree in the comments and speak it out loud. I end the old cycle now and answer only to the destiny that honors my soul. Write it slowly. Feel each word as if it were already true. Imagine the universe leaning closer as you declare it, rearranging paths, people, and opportunities in response to your choice. And if this message resonated with you, also leave your hype on this video, subscribe, like, and share it. And if it moves your heart, become a member of the channel. Every hype you send strengthens this energy, helps this space grow, and carries this light to other people who are in desperate need of this kind of message. Taurus, let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many of your last 13 years were spent reacting instead of choosing? Think of how often you waited for life to calm down so you could finally be yourself. Did that moment ever really arrive? Or did another crisis, another demand, another person's chaos step in and take the space that belonged to your joy? Karmic cycles are not punishments written in stone. They are patterns written in habit. They persist as long as you answer them. You answer karma every time you say yes to what you already know is a no in your gut. You answer karma every time you explain away the red flags. You answer karma every time you stay where your spirit has already moved out. So what does it actually mean for karma to stop calling? It means your energy no longer responds to the old bait. The same invitation appears to overwork, to overgive, to self-abandon. And instead of feeling obligated, you feel detached, almost uninterested. Have you noticed it already? Situations that once triggered you now feel strangely transparent. You can see the manipulation. You can see the repetition. You can see your old self wanting to jump in and fix, rescue, justify. And yet, something wiser in you just says, no, not this time. That is victory beginning. Not in a stadium, not in a ceremony, but in the quiet place where you choose yourself without needing to hurt anyone to do it. 13 years carved this wisdom into you. For 13 years, every heartbreak taught you what you were no longer willing to tolerate. Every financial struggle taught you that your worth is not chained to a number. Every friendship that faded taught you that not everyone can walk with you into every version of your life. Imagine if none of that had happened. Would you know your boundaries as clearly as you do now? Would you recognize the subtle red flags you notice today in the first 5 minutes of a conversation? Would you feel your body say no before your mouth says yes? This is why the universe doesn't see those 13 years as wasted. It sees them as training. Training for a level of destiny where you cannot afford to be naive about your own value. The call that ends this karmic loop isn't just coming from the outside. It is echoing from your future self. There is a version of you 20 years from now, calm, grounded, abundant, respected, loved in a way that doesn't suffocate, looking back at this exact period. From that vantage point, this call, this decision, this inner shift is the moment everything changed. Can you feel that version of you? The one who doesn't rush to prove anything, the one who is no longer impressed by crumbs, the one who looks at their life and thinks, I'm at peace with the choices I made, even the difficult ones, because they led me here. Now ask yourself, what would that version of you refuse to accept right now? Which relationship? Which job? Which habit of self-sabotage? Which way of speaking to yourself? And what would they urge you to say yes to, even if it scares you a little? A new path that feels uncertain but honest. A conversation that needs to finally happen. A boundary you've been postponing for years. The next 20 years of victory are not a random blessing. They are a consequence of you choosing differently here in this exact chapter. You are standing at a crossing point between two timelines, one where you repeat the last 13 years with slightly different scenery, and one where you use everything you learned to walk in a completely different direction. The invisible voice is the guidance system between those timelines. It speaks through your discomfort when you try to shrink. It speaks through your exhaustion when you keep giving beyond your capacity. It speaks through your sudden waves of courage that arrive out of nowhere, urging you to make that call, send that message, apply for that opportunity, walk away from that argument. Have you noticed how your intuition has become less poetic and more practical? Instead of vague feelings, you get clear impulses. Stop. Go. Enough. Now. That's not anxiety. That's your inner compass finally free of old interference. There will be tests. Patterns don't vanish because you had an epiphany. They reappear, often looking softer, sweeter, changed. You will be tempted to believe, maybe this time it's different. And sometimes it will be, but the real difference must be you. So when the call comes, whatever form it takes, listen to what your body says, not just the words you hear. Do you feel expansion or contraction, peace or tension, honesty or performance? Victory lives in those micro moments where you dare to honor what you feel instead of what others expect. The universe is not asking you to become harsh or cold. It is asking you to become accurate, to know the difference between compassion and self-erasure, between patience and procrastination, between loyalty and bondage. Taurus, can you imagine a life where you are not constantly apologizing for becoming who you are? Where your success doesn't make you anxious because you're waiting for it to be taken away? Where love doesn't feel like walking on eggshells? That life is not reserved for others. It is the very future that has been trying to call you. And in the silence before that call, in the quiet before the decision, your soul is asking you a simple, radical question. Are you willing to believe you deserve 20 years of victory after 13 years of survival? Because the universe can offer, but it cannot answer that for you. Taurus, have you ever wondered why some moments feel like déjà vu, but deeper, as if time folds for a second, as if your future self steps into the room and whispers, "Pay attention. This is one of the pages that shapes everything." This is the anatomy of a destiny-altering call. It doesn't start when the phone rings. It starts long before, in the days, even weeks leading up to it, when your reality begins rearranging itself to prepare your spirit. You may have already sensed it, the strange quiet between conversations, the subtle pulling back from people who once consumed your thoughts, the sudden emotional distance from roles that used to feel unavoidable, like your soul is cleaning the room before someone important arrives. This is not coincidence, this is preparation. The universe rarely sends life-changing events into cluttered spaces. It clears the field first. It asks you, silently but insistently, to release something small so that something significant can land. So let me ask you, have you been letting go or clinging tighter? Have you been feeling strangely uninterested in cycles you once obsessed over? Have you been feeling a quiet certainty that something is off, even when nothing obvious has changed? This is your frequency recalibrating, shifting out of karmic repetition and into alignment with what is meant to come next. And here is the sacred truth few dare to speak aloud. You do not receive destiny from your strongest self. You receive it from your truest self. Your strongest self is the version of you that carried everyone, the version that never crumbled in public, the version that kept smiling while silently bleeding. But your truest self, the one destiny responds to, is the one you only show when you are alone. The one who admits, I'm tired of pretending this is enough. I can't keep carrying what no longer loves me. I deserve more than survival. I'm ready for the real thing. This is why the invisible voice has been echoing more clearly lately. It's not because you're losing your mind. It's because you're finally listening. The voice that closes 13 years of pain is not dramatic or cinematic. It's simple. It's the moment you stop tolerating the intolerable. Think of how many times these past months you've looked at the same situation and thought, something has to change. But instead of pushing for change, you felt a new kind of clarity, a readiness to receive, not to force. This readiness is a powerful spiritual magnet. Without effort, it attracts what is aligned and repels what is outdated. You may begin noticing the following signs, subtle but unmistakably sacred. A conversation reveals a truth you didn't ask for, but needed to hear. A small disappointment unexpectedly breaks a long pattern. An intuition becomes so loud you can't ignore it. You suddenly lose interest in people who once dictated your moods. Your dreams show scenarios your waking mind is afraid to face. Your desires become sharper, simpler, cleaner. Your energy withdraws from anything that feels forced. These are not coincidences, these are activations. Taurus, the universe is preparing you for a moment when your entire life pivots in a single breath. A moment when you receive clarity so profound it feels like remembering something forgotten but familiar. A moment when the invisible voice becomes undeniable. This voice is not a warning. It is an awakening. It speaks because the karma has already finished its work. And what did those 13 years teach you? They taught you not to chase love that runs. They taught you that silence is not peace, it's suffocation. They taught you that loyalty without reciprocity is self-destruction. They taught you that patience becomes poison when it protects the wrong things. They taught you that stability without joy is slow spiritual death. And now, Taurus, life is asking you, what will you do with the wisdom you paid for in tears? Because the call that ends your karma is not the call that brings something new. It's the call that helps you walk away from what no longer holds your soul. This is why the universe is finishing your internal rearrangement before the external message arrives. It is ensuring that when the moment comes, when your path opens, when the opportunity appears, when the words you've waited years to hear finally surface, you respond as the healed version of yourself, not the wounded one. The person you are becoming will not accept what the person you were tolerated. And that difference is exactly what ends the 13-year cycle. The moment your soul recognizes itself, its worth, its depth, its truth, the karmic lesson dissolves. You were never trapped. You were becoming. And now, Taurus, you are beginning to feel the future pulling you toward it. Let it pull. There are doors in life that cannot open while you are still pounding on them. Not because the universe is cruel, but because the noise of your desperation would drown out the sound of the right door unlocking. Taurus, one of the hard truths of your past 13 years is this: you tried too hard to earn what was never meant to stay. You gave your loyalty to people who didn't know how to hold it. You poured oceans into cups with cracks. You explained your heart to those who were committed to misunderstanding it. And nothing changed, because karma is not a cycle you break by effort. It is a cycle you break by embodiment, which means you can only receive what aligns with who you have become, not who you were. The invisible voice has been guiding you, telling you to step back, to rest, to stop apologizing for outgrowing your surroundings. It may even feel like nothing is happening, when in truth, everything is rearranging. Have you noticed how emotional exhaustion feels different lately? Not heavy, but clarifying. Not hopeless, but honest. As if life is saying, this is expired, release it. And maybe that scares you, because Taurus is a sign that builds, that roots, that invests deeply. You do not walk away lightly, but you are learning a sacred truth. Walking away is not abandonment. Walking away is alignment. The universe is now orchestrating a door you couldn't force open because it obeys frequency, not effort. This door leads to a connection that meets you without taking from you, an opportunity that matches your talent, not your fear, a path that doesn't require you to shrink, a version of yourself you haven't met yet, but always sensed, a stability built on truth, not performance, a joy that doesn't come with consequences. But here's the mystery. This door only appears when you stop searching for the old one. You had to lose what you thought was solid. You had to confront the illusion of safety. You had to watch familiar things fall apart, not because you were being punished, but because life was removing anything that would poison the future you are meant to inhabit. The next era of your life, the 20 years now forming in your field, cannot be built on guilt, fear, or obligation. It can only be built on authenticity. You've asked for signs. You've asked for clarity. You've asked for strength. You've asked for timing. The universe responded by shifting everything around you until you had no choice but to confront your truth. That truth is simple. You are no longer a match for the life you outgrew. This is why conversations feel different, why old friends feel distant, why your tolerance is shrinking, why you no longer have emotional energy for drama, why certain relationships feel done, even if nothing went wrong on the surface, why your dreams and intuition feel louder than usual. These are not random changes. They are symptoms of karmic release. Think back to every moment these past months when you felt, I'm done. I can't pretend anymore. I don't belong here. I deserve more than this. Those weren't breakdowns. They were breakthroughs. The new door will not require you to contort yourself. It will require you to step into who you became while the world wasn't watching. Life is asking you to trust something you cannot see yet, but can feel. The invisible voice is telling you, you don't need permission to start living, and this is the moment that separates the old cycle from the new one. The old cycle made you earn love. The new cycle gives love space to meet you. The old cycle made you prove your worth. The new one invites you to embody it. The old cycle demanded sacrifice. The new one honors reciprocity. You do not need to push the door open. It is already unlocking. Your only task is to release the doorknob of the past so your hands are free to turn the new one. Taurus, this next chapter is not about fighting your way forward. It's about finally being still enough for destiny to find you. This is the part where your story shifts from prophecy to embodiment, where the echo of the invisible voice becomes a path, where the call becomes movement, where the first decision becomes liberation. Taurus. The next 20 years of your life are not an exaggeration. They are a horizon, a field, a landscape being carved in real time by your choices, your healing, your awakening. Victory for you will not look like conquest. It will look like alignment. Let me show you what awaits when the karmic cycle ends. 1. Your relationships shift permanently, not because people change, but because you finally see them clearly. You will no longer tolerate half-love, vague attention, or draining loyalty. You will crave depth, honesty, softness, truth, and only truth will survive the filter. 2. Your career or life direction sharpens. There will be a moment, you will know when, where you realize, I am capable of more than I believed. This realization will change your decisions instantly. Opportunities will appear that feel designed for your soul, not your resume. 3. Your intuition becomes non-negotiable. No more compromising your inner voice. No more pretending not to see. No more silencing your needs. Your intuition becomes the architect of your next era. 4. Your emotional body becomes your compass. If it drains you, you walk away. If it expands you, you walk toward it. If it confuses you, you pause. If it aligns, you act. Life becomes simple because your soul becomes louder. 5. Your definition of success transforms. Success will stop being survival. It will become peace. It will become freedom. It will become waking up without the weight of old wounds. It will become choosing joy without guilt. This is the beginning of a life where everything you lost is replaced with better, everything you endured becomes wisdom, and everything you feared becomes obsolete. But the most sacred moment, the birth of the 20-year victory timeline, arrives quietly. It arrives the moment you say, I'm done living in repetition. It arrives the moment you choose clarity over comfort. It arrives the moment you let the call change you. It arrives the moment you accept that you deserve ease, reciprocity, respect, and expansion. Taurus, let me tell you a secret that destiny whispers only to those who survive long cycles. Your future is not built from what you did right. It is built from what you finally refuse to repeat. These next 2 decades will be marked by the strength of your boundaries, the softness of your heart, the clarity of your intuition, and the courage of your surrender. You are not stepping into a brighter future. You are stepping into a truer one, a life that reflects who you actually are, not who you had to become to survive the past. Write this in the comments to activate the new timeline. I rise into the future my soul has been calling toward. The old cycle is complete. My victory begins now. Say it, feel it, own it. And if this message touched your soul, leave your hype on the video, like it, share it. And if your spirit feels called, become a member of the channel. Every hype strengthens this current, helps this space grow, and sends this light to others who need it as deeply as you did.